Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn. I do videos on astrology and Feng Shui, and today we are talking about astrology. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button if you like videos like this, because it really helps out the channel. And if you don't know me, again, welcome to the channel. I am a professional astrologer. I've been doing astrology for a long time. I've written 16 books. I write a weekly sun signs column on sunsigns.com. I also write for horoscope.com and astrology.com. And in the description box below, there is a link to a PDF if you need a copy of your chart, which does include my email, where you can just send me your information and I will send you a copy of your chart. Okay, let's get started. Hey Scorpio natives, you guys are doing the eclipse in the 9th house. That is about spirituality. It's about education. It is about your place in the world and your connection with foreign things and foreign travel. So you have all of this energy and it's changing. And this, starting with just education, if we looked at that, that would say that you're either thinking about going to school, or you are thinking about leaving school, perhaps taking a gap year or giving up on it entirely. And either any of those are okay, because this says change what you're doing. It says to rethink about what it is that you want out of an education course. And so let's say you're in conventional college and you find that you could make more money if you were just applying what you know already and doing courses and things like that for a fraction of the cost and going out and building your business. On the other hand, if you want to be a doctor or a nurse because you've seen those brave, heroic people working so hard over the last few months, that might take some conventional school. I can't even say might, it would take some conventional school, and so therefore you apply for it. And the great thing is, because of all the stress and chaos that have happened, there's going to be a lot of people changing their mind about education, opening up some possibilities for you. So go for the schools that you're looking for. Even if you're on a wait list, you have a chance. So consider that that would be a path for you. On the other hand, if you've been trudging through school and you're just not seeing that there's any light at the end of the tunnel, maybe it is time for you to take a gap year. And if you also say to yourself, I don't know that I just want to do online classes from this university and pay so much money, well then yeah, take that time and go apply what you know. Now, this also talks about your spirituality, and it says for you to be open to these new spiritual ideas and to pull this into a daily routine, into something that is done at home in a place where you can really concentrate on it. And we see that at home part because Saturn is in your 4th house, and it says become disciplined about it, become regular about it, become structured about it. And so that would be maybe doing a meditation practice, or perhaps you have discovered yoga and you're doing that every day. This might be lighting a candle or saying a prayer and really being in touch with the energies. Perhaps you could redo your home from a Feng Shui standpoint, which is just where you set up everything to support your goals. And so if you have goals about weight loss or things like that, you would set up your kitchen that way by getting rid of, the things you shouldn't be eating, or rearranging the things in your fridge. So when you open the refrigerator, you see the fruits and vegetables, you don't see the cake and soda pop and stuff like that. So you can reorder how your house is and support your goals. Now, this sun and moon also up in the 9th house is talking about travel. And there have been so many restrictions on travel. Maybe you have always wanted to travel and haven't done it. And now that you realize that travel could be just closed off to you, maybe now you have to make this a priority. And so that would be to start to plan your trips and reach out to people, maybe family members who live far away, and say, hey, can I come and see my ancestral lands, in Europe or in Asia or any of these places, so that you can travel when travel becomes safe again. And this would also be to say, this is a priority for me, so I'm going to put aside the money, I'm going to put aside the vacation time, I'm going to make this happen. And speaking of money, the North Node, South Node are in your money houses, with the North Node in your house of passive income sources. That includes money from business, money from partnerships, money from writing, teaching, well, I shouldn't say necessarily teaching, royalties, residuals, things like that. So these sources where you set something in motion. And when I say passive income, oh my gosh, passive income is very labor intensive to set up because you have to do the research, you have to pull the trigger and make the right decisions. So by passive income, what I mean is an ability to multiply yourself and expand what you're doing. And this North Node there says that you have an 18-month window for doing this. You have more opportunities to make money this way. The North Node is in Gemini, so it is about learning how to do it, trial and error. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. Passive income sources could include real estate and also stocks. But again, you want to be careful. You want to know what you're doing. And so the North Node brings you opportunities to meet the right people to help you. Now, this North Node, South Node is receiving that square from the Mars down in the 5th house of risk-taking and having fun. And what this says is that find the passive income sources that you really find enjoyable. If you like going to garage sales and finding finds and then flipping them on eBay, do that. If you like doodling or drawing, maybe create some coloring books on Amazon, or create some stickers that you sell on Etsy, or make some t-shirts up. If what you like doing is doing movies and things like that, then get your YouTube channel going. Find the things that you really enjoy doing. Even if they don't make you a lot of money, allow the universe to take care of that. But follow your passions and really put the time and energy into it, rather than just kind of morphing from one thing to another, but really say, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to put my toe in the water. I'm going to plant a seed and see where it goes. Now, Venus is retrograde in your 8th house. Mercury's retrograde in the 9th house. That Mercury retrograde does mean that you are reconsidering classes that you're taking or courses you've bought, or if you are scheduled to go back to a school in the fall. This is all this about reconsidering. And if you can't get out of it, then reconsider how you approach it. If you are having to do something and you don't want to do it, the best thing to do is to tell yourself that you do want to do it, that you are going to love it, that you are going to find the spiritual reasons that you are compelled to do this. And so when you do that, what happens is your whole attitude changes. You reframe the situation. And so if you're going into a classroom and you're thinking, oh, this is so boring and this teacher doesn't know anything, but if you went in with this, I'm here for a reason, that the universe put me here, I need to see the message. And when you do, then the message lights up and you see it and you say, this is why I'm here. Now, Venus is retrograde in your house of resources from others. This could cause some delays in getting a check or getting some government assistance. So we'll talk about that in a second. But mostly what this is you have to ask multiple people for help, because people are there to give to you, but maybe not necessarily the one that you are thinking will. This also says that if someone has said no in the past, you may want to ask them again, because they may be in different circumstances. They may see you're in different circumstances and they could help you. Now, when we look at your relationships, that Venus in the 8th house does help in the area of sexual matters. We don't want to get too personal in this. I don't know what ages are watching this, but there could be some fun behind closed doors. But when we look at your relationships in general, we have the Uranus there in the 7th house, which is causing some disruption and change. Change doesn't necessarily mean bad. Change could be that you are approaching your current relationship in a different way, but change is definitely good when you're looking for love, because you have lots of opportunities in this area. Now, we don't have a big strong connection between Venus and Pluto or Venus and Mars. And so right now, this is more about making connections verbally or through video conferencing rather than meeting face to face. That's going to change in a few weeks. So if you are looking for love, just be patient. This isn't quite the time yet. When we look at your home life, you are doing that Saturn at 0 degrees. This could mean that you're thinking about moving at some point, possibly over the next 6 months, but the 0 says you might not know yet how you're going to do that or where you're going. That 0 Aquarius also says redo your current place. Get rid of the clutter. Saturn would like things simplified and just have the essentials. And the Aquarius says, look, if you're already using a lot of technology, maybe you can get rid of a lot of the paper in your house. Perhaps that you look at how you do things and maybe you can make them more automated and more streamlined. Saturn also says to get on a structure, so on a calendar, so that you can do repairs, so that you can live in a place that you're really proud of. When we look at your career, we're pulling energy right from your 9th house. This may mean that you are up for some sort of certification or licensing you need to do, that you might have to take some sort of test. It also means that in some jobs that you might be looking at, they are looking for more education, and so that you might need to find some way to maybe do an accelerated program or to see if they will pull you in anyway because of your experience. This also does say that if you're teaching, writing, publishing, or any of these 9th house things, that you have a lot of career opportunities coming up. I know that when you say teaching with potential cuts out there, you might say, what? But what that means is that you need to think in these creative ways, maybe about tutoring, maybe about doing more online classes, or maybe writing courses and things like that. This energy here also, because the Sun, Moon, and Mercury are very elevated, you're easily seen. So when you post your resume, it does rise to the top, but it's always good to reach out to decision makers personally and send them a note. That it would include the writing and that 9th house, and that can get a door open for you. When it comes to your money, you're pulling from that Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in the 3rd house. Jupiter and Pluto have come together for the 2nd time. They were conjunct in April. They're going to be conjunct again in November, and now they are conjunct again. And that is about this desire to have a great big goal. And when you have a great big goal, when you are shooting for the moon, whether they say you're at least going to hit the mountaintop, that's fantastic. And so asking yourself the questions, because this is a 3rd house Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, so you ask yourself the questions and the universe gives you the answer. So you want these positive questions, not a question like, how am I going to pay my bills? But more of a question is, how can I make my annual income my monthly income? How can I make $1,000 a day? And so ask yourself these questions and allow your brain to start working on the answers. At the same time, it does say that money is pulled in through communication, sales, transportation, teaching, writing, all of these things. It also says clear out negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are tripping you up, and the Pluto says to transform those. So the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction gives you the opportunity to transform how you think, how you approach things, and that transforms your finances. When we look at your passive income sources, we have Venus retrograde up there along with the North Node. So right now there could be some delays, but that's going to change in a few weeks. There are going to be some opportunities. So you might be able to get a couple of quick little wins here or there, but the long-term money is going to come later. And there's going to be a big temptation to spend. So you want to keep your wallet in check just in case, because if the temptation is to spend and yet it's on something frivolous and something that you can't return, that could be a problem later. So watch your spending during this period. Now, if we look at your money derived from career, that is ruled by that Mercury retrograde in the 9th house. So it does say that money is coming back, especially for people who are teaching or in some sort of spiritual profession. That's all coming back. But it does say that source of income is coming back, even though that might be brief. And so you do want to find additional sources of income. And in both cases, you're not showing an abundance of money this time. So that does mean that you do have to look towards a more frugal lifestyle, especially for the next few weeks. Look at really, what do you need? Like, if you're not leaving the house, do you really need to buy new clothes, etc.? When we look at the potential for windfalls, what we're looking at is that Mars in Pisces, and what that's doing is You are trusting your gut, but perhaps a little too much, because that Mars is not necessarily making a strong enough connection with your Venus up there in the 8th house, although it is making a connection to the ruler of your second, which we do like to see. So if you're very versed in, say, investing, and then you're following your gut instincts, that makes sense. But for the most part, if you're getting into something new, be careful of being swept away by the crowd. Be extremely cautious about get-rich-quick schemes, very expensive opportunities, especially if they're around education. Be wary of those sort of things. First, exhaust all the free opportunities before you step into some sort of paid situation, because then you're going to do better. And with all that said, of course, I am now going to pitch my course, which is Finding the Hidden Money in Your Chart. It is on Udemy. It's not that much money, so therefore, if you're interested in personal finance astrology, do consider it. In the meantime, I hope you have a really prosperous and safe few weeks until we talk again, and let the stars light your way.